escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott. Welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Sunday, January 25th. It's Championship Sunday today, and we've got our two big football games to find out who's going to go to the Super Bowl. Got the early game here between the Patriots and the Broncos in Denver. Imagine if the Patriots would have won and this game would have been played in New England today. Hope everyone's staying warm. Boy, we dodged that one. Anyways, it'll still be in Denver. It'll be cold, but that'll be the first game, followed by another good one with the Rams and the Seahawks. A little bit warmer there in the low 40s in that one. So hope you're staying warm. These might be the most watched NFL football games ever, with everyone bundled up and staying in. Tell me where you're at and what's going on in your area with the weather today and how you're going to enjoy the games. But and stay warm in there, man. What a day here in the United States and North America as well. Hello to my friends in the chat from Canada as well. They're getting some Canadian-like weather down here in the United States today. So we'll preview the NFL conference finals, conference championship games. We'll also preview an NBA card here and NHL games as well. I think they're all still scheduled to be played throughout the country. And we found three college basketball games as well to look at on the schedule. A lot of the games were already canceled, moved to other dates. So we ended up, I think, with felt like it seems like 5 games in college basketball today scheduled there. Yeah, even one of the games that was canceled or postponed was postponed. I think I don't know how they said it. So thank you for joining me here after a fun night last night with the start of the UFC year here. We had it on the Sports Money Network with Justin Gaethje beating up on Paddy Pimblett there for the interim lightweight championship. Gaethje, the 2-time former interim champ, looked like he belonged, and Paddy Pimblett looked like a guy who was rushed in to take a title shot here. Not quite ready for prime time was Paddy Pimblett. You think about his schedule of fighters coming in here. Maybe it didn't match up, obviously, to what Gaethje's been through, despite his 10-5 record now in the UFC. And Paddy came in, of course, 7-0. But do look at his ledger in his UFC career. Maybe had not been challenged enough, and he'll have to retool and work it out here a little bit there. But we did have a good time with the debut of the programming there on Paramount Plus. Also had that good co-main event with O'Malley and Song Yadong. Of course, O'Malley gets the win there in that one in a close decision there, and he says he wants a shot at Peter Yan, but still, he does have a little bit of work to do on his own progression here a little bit. I mean, sure, O'Malley's always going to be ready. I mean, look, he's lost to Dvalishvili twice, so hey, that was a couple losses there in a row, but bounced back to get the win over Song Yadong there, who, uh, last fight he was in there was with Cejudo, but did do a good job there and hanging in there. And man, he could have easily outpointed O'Malley there. The judges went with O'Malley for that win in the co-main and the bantamweight bout there last night, as Paramount Plus made its debut, and we made our season debut here on the Sports Money Network. Had a great time with the guys last night, and we'll do it again tonight. We're going to have coverage of the NFL late game between Seattle and the Rams right here on the Sports Money Network. I believe it's in conjunction with Razor Sharp Picks for a Sunday night. Then we get a week off, and that's it. One more game is all we have in football here. Well, good thing the UFL's coming, not. But man, you know what we need today is where is our noontime basketball game with this schedule? Didn't anybody think about this in the NBA on Championship Sunday? Seems like in years past, I don't know, it's ever on purpose. We always make fun of the sports. Why can't they have sports when we need them? But we could have used a 9 a.m. Basketball game out here on the West Coast. Of course, a noontime basketball game today to get us ready for the action. But there's some college ball to start us off. All right, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat as we get rolling here on the show. Not a long show with the limited card here today. We'll be here maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours talking sports and sports betting with you here on Championship Sunday. Brought home some winners there last night, including in the UFC. It did have a few wins in the UFC last night, but man, I kept laying maybe I got to retool a little bit to get ready for the season, but I kept laying a few points in there with the spread, the point spreads, if you will. And man, I lost with Silva by half a point, O'Malley by half a point. He only won by 3, so I kept getting nipped there a little bit. Had a few winners here on the card, including Hockett over Freeman there yesterday. He got it done. I tried to go with Gauthier over Pulayev, but he couldn't get a knockout win in there. And Charles Johnson, he's going to have to reevaluate what's going on. I did have a couple winners, but kind of struggled over there with my premium picks on the opening card of the UFC season, and did have winners there in the NHL with my games here last night. On the show. We did have winners with the Buffalo Sabres and the New York Islanders game to go under. We won that one. We won with the Utah Mammoth there yesterday, won with the Detroit Red Wings. A lot of winners here on the show, but couldn't find them over there in the premiums over there with me. But you can get more picks from me here with winnable.com/Ramon. This is where I send out some premium picks today. Probably pretty light. If you do subscribe today, probably have I'll extend it if a day, or I'll double it. Whatever anybody subscribes today, I'll put it in. If you get a month, I'll put 2 months. If you get a week, I'll put 2 weeks. If you get 3 days, I'll put 6 days, and if you put a week, I'll put 2 weeks. So consider subscribing over there at winnable.com today on Championship Sunday. Use promo code STEAM on all those packages. So that should be pretty cool, right? Do that. Subscribe today here with me, and I'll double it today on Championship Sunday. How about that? And have a great day today. Join us. Make sure you join us for that late game, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, with the late game there in the NFL. Also had winners here on the morning steam in the NBA yesterday, including the Washington Wizards plus points against the Charlotte Hornets. We did have the Wizards here in that one. We also had the under with Cavaliers and the Magic yesterday. Also, we had the Chicago Bulls there. Oh, they actually got it done on a last-second shot by Kevin Huerter to win it with a 3-pointer from the corner there yesterday for that winner. All right, we'll also keep track of any steam that comes in, but I think it'll be pretty light today. Probably just me yapping with you guys. So let me go right to the chat right now. Might as well get started with this show with our previews today. James Parham is here today. Nuke Worker can tell us about the cold weather. Here, just 21 games in all to satisfy us here today. Bobby Mack is here today, and maybe I'll even get some. Maybe I'll take a nap after the show. How about that? Everybody would be real proud of me. Robert said I just saw the Villa score here just as we were coming on the air. Robert, I saw that just a few moments ago. Right as I was hitting go, I think they were celebrating that goal here against Newcastle. Also, other soccer action to keep us entertained here. Yeah, even they've lost some games over there today. But Crystal Palace and Chelsea, no score here. Watching that one as well. And Forest has a goal. The cherries on top of Brentford here, still to come. Man United and Arsenal. How about that? Also, Serie A action. Sassuolo beat Cremonese 1-0. Also, Bologna and Genoa underway, and Atalanta already leading Parma 2-0 in Spain right now. Madrid leading Mallorca. Atletico leading 1-0 there in that one. Bundesliga, Stuttgart and Mönchengladbach. No score here right now. And in France, Nice already on top of Nantes. 2-0. You can check the scores over my shoulder here during the show. I don't think they're up there right now, but check out my live scoreboard behind me. You can sometimes see the scores back there if I'm not blocking it. And we'll get going here with our coverage here today on the Sports Money Network. Also, you can get more picks from me today when you subscribe, when you comment in the chat. If you say something in the chat, you'll be entered into a drawing. At the end of the show, I'll give away 1 month of my picks here. You wouldn't want them there after yesterday, I don't think. But we'll get them today and have a great card. All right, who else is here? Big O. Big O, how have you been doing, Big O? So great to see you here joining us today in the chat. Big O's here. Mike Humphrey as well with us. Nasty Nate says the Patriots will smash this one today. M the Great is here, and good morning. Big O says it's all clear and cold in Nebraska. Blake here from Tennessee Way. And Nunez here today talking about college. But hey, we got to find some games in there. We're going to preview one of the best games of the day right there, USC and Wisconsin. We'll preview 3 of the games. Andrew G. There. So I think he's talking about Patty in there with his intro and not looking that sharp. We do have a goal here, I think, by Chelsea right now, and I think this one will probably stand to give them a lead over Crystal Palace. Irish King is here. Parma Jake is here. Power Critter bringing it here. Hope I can stay awake through the show here. Blue. Hey, hello to Blue. Nice to see you, Blue. Great to see you today. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. And let's see, our Thompson is here, ready for the action today. T-Bird. Hi, T-Bird. Here today. Also, Nunya here. You gotta, right? Oh, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready to take maybe a little nap before the game today. Look, there's a little bit of a window. I know there's some hockey in there today, but it does feel like a little bit of a light Sunday here to just digest and make sure that hey, the weather's not bad here right now. It's only 37 degrees in Nevada, but it's expected to get up into the 50s here today. Philly Eagle Flyer, nice to see you. And got to shovel again, shovel here. But like I said, could you imagine earlier this season, there was a game. You remember the Raiders beat the Patriots, I believe, in was it week 1? All the Patriots needed was one more win along the line, and they'd be playing that game. And I don't know if who's here close to Foxborough. Did they say that they are buried, they're going to be buried in snow up there? They'd have a massive snowstorm here on Championship Sunday. And we were on the show last night on with Mikey Money and with Jeff, MMA Jeff, and a couple other guys stopping by. But they on Calshi, they did have how much snow will be in Central Park, and Mike made me play a 25-1 shot that there would be over. What did he say? Over 24 inches of snow there with the. No, look, I usually these forecasts are pretty good, but people are betting it right now how much snow in New York City between January 24th and January 26th. And where are we at here? 12 inches, 10 inches, 15 inches. Those are the top favorites, I think, right now. So where is it going to land? But Mikey made me come in with the over 20 inches, I think. There, where's it at? Over 20 inches was 19-1. There had 24 inches on. There it is. Now, oh man, yesterday it was 25-1. Now above 24 inches is 32-1. And there's no bid price on the under on that one. But so Kalshi, we can bet on the hey, stay in the snow and bet on the snow. There, stay out of the snow and bet on the snow. Kalshi, these prediction markets are crazy here. Hey, do we have a prediction market for how the world will end in the next 3 years via nuclear war? Well, that's kind of a grave thought. I didn't mean to ruin everybody's day, but man, after what we saw yesterday, again, and rough day yesterday, but hopefully it'll be a lot better today and safer up there in the Minnesota area. We'll talk about that a little bit, how yesterday's events affected sports with the that murder beat up there. All right, let's see here. Nunez is down in his area, still just a nice day today. And Var says it's already snowing a lot. Oh man, Var, what's it going to be? I mean, I had to put in that over 24 inches, Mike said, but more realistically, what was the favorite there? Above 12 inches. And then, so I think going by this, it looks to be like 11 inches is the actual prediction overall if you had to like average it out in this market. So there's some other crazy things you can bet on. And Kalshi, I told them several months ago, let's have a show where we just do Kalshi predictions on outrageous stuff in the world. But man, this is unpredictable. The world I'm talking about. All right. Wow. Look at that. Okay. I see you there. All right, everyone. I think we're ready to go here. Hey, there was some good college basketball. Let me mention some of these results actually from yesterday. In college basketball, Big East action, St. John's wins 88-83. Pitino, his 900th career win as a college head coach. St. John's overcame a 16-point deficit with 17 minutes left for their sixth win in a row. UConn over Villanova in overtime. The Huskies have won 15 in a row. They're 9-0 in the Big East. UConn, though, they're winning all the games, but they've failed to cover in 6 straight games. 6-0 straight up, 0-6 against the spread. That's why we play this game, right? Georgetown over Providence to snap a 6-game losing streak. The Friars are spiraling a little bit, even though they've lost 7 of 9, but 8 of the 9 games decided by 6 points or less, but they just aren't getting it done. DePaul beat Seton Hall 67-60. The Halls lost 4 in a row. Big East standings, Connecticut 9-0. St. John's 8-1 right now, and Creighton and Villanova a couple more games back, but sounds like it's coming down to those 2 teams for the regular season. Title SEC, Missouri over Oklahoma. They hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer for a walk-off win there. Sooners lost their 6th in a row in that one. Auburn upset Florida for their 3rd straight win and snapped Florida's 5-game winning streak. Vanderbilt over Mississippi State. Vanderbilt ended their 3-game losing streak after starting the season 16-0. SEC has Texas A&M on top 6-1. Arkansas, Florida, and Kentucky are 5-2. Big 12, Texas Tech over Houston. Uh, uh, 90 to 86. Yeah, we saw that one coming there with Texas Tech getting that win to snap Houston's 11 game winning streak in that one. Houston actually led by 4 with 10 minutes left, but it was in the end Texas Tech as the Raiders won 9 of their last 10. BYU beat Utah 91 to 78 behind AJ DeBonsa 43 points for the freshman in that one. It's big freshman performances yesterday around the country. Three freshmen all with 40 or more points. So these guys are good. TCU beat Baylor 97 to 90. Arizona leads the Big 12 7-0. Texas Tech 6-1. Houston BYU 5-1. Plenty of excitement there to go. Mountain West. My San Diego State Aztecs beat my UNLV running Rebels here in Vegas, 80 to 71. Miles Bird, 23 points. He was hitting it from 3. Aztecs have won 8 of 9, with their only loss being a loss to the referees against Grand Canyon when they called a phantom foul. San Diego State's 8-1 in conference play. Utah State and New Mexico are 7-2. New Mexico beat Nevada 80 to 73 behind my man Jake Hall from Carlsbad, California. Lighting it up again from 3. Final. Jake Hall looks like a pretty good shooter there in New Mexico, coached by the former UCSD coach Eric Owen. He went from UCSD over to New Mexico, and he's doing his thing there with the Lobos. They look pretty good, actually. Big Ten, Illinois over Purdue. We talked about the big freshman scoring. Wagler of Illinois, 46 points, 9 3-pointers in that one as Illinois keeps rolling. Nebraska beat Minnesota 76-57 to improve to 20-0, a 9-0 in conference. And Nebraska's in front, but Michigan State, and Illinois are all 8-1. Purdue 7-2. Imagine that, big time winning teams there in the Big 10. Also, ACC, North Carolina over Virginia, 85 to 80. Virginia led by 16 late in the first half. North Carolina eventually came back. They were out rebounded in the game, but won the game there. Tar Heels really protected the ball. Clemson over Georgia Tech, 77 to 63. Duke is 7-0 in the ACC. Clemson 7-1. Miami, NC State, and Virginia 5-2. West Coast Conference, Gonzaga with a scare, but they beat USF 68 to 66 for their 34th straight win over the Dons. USF missed a 3-pointer and a tip-in in the last 5 seconds to give Gonzaga the win. Gonzaga 14 straight wins. Their last loss was to Michigan. Pacific Edge Seattle 56 to 54. They never trailed, but they led by 16. Seattle almost came all the way back. St. Mary's over Portland 75 to 69. Gonzaga's 9-0 in the West Coast Conference. St. Mary's and Santa Clara 8-1. That looks like the standings every year until next year when Gonzaga goes to the Pac-12. Missouri Valley, Illinois Chicago beat Bradley for their 6th win in a row. That's pretty good. They had a tough non-conference schedule, and they're rolling through the Missouri Valley right now a little bit. Northern Iowa over Murray State, 81-76. Belmont and Murray are 8-2. Bradley's 7-4. A10. Rhode Island over George Mason to give George Mason their first loss in 10 games. The BCU beat Davidson 75 to 69. So St. Louis leads in the A10 7-0. George Mason 6-1 now. BCU and Dayton are in back of them. And let's see here. Sun Belt. Troy over Georgia Southern, 83 to 78. Georgia State beat Arkansas 82 to 81. So Troy is 8-1 in the Sun Belt. Georgia State 6-3 there. So big lead for Troy, starting to stretch it out. And Big West action, Santa Barbara over Long Beach, 74 to 71, and Irvine beat UC San Diego 61 to 59. So Irvine's in first place at 7-2 there. Although we had didn't Hawaii play late night, I might have actually fell asleep at the end of that game there. Ramon game. He does not know who won Northridge and Hawaii. I don't know something about some sports here. I'm gonna have to go back and see who won that one. Who won the Hawaii Northridge game, guys? I fell asleep. Southland, Stephen F. Austin wins 88-81 over Lamar, and McNeese beat New Orleans 82-63. So Stephen F. Austin's 10-1, and McNeese is 9-2. Although McNeese won the first meeting between those two teams. Horizon, Oakland over Detroit 95-87, and Green Bay beat Robert Morris 71-67. So Wright's in first place 8-2. Oakland's 8-3, and Fort Wayne is 7-3. All right, that'll get you caught up in the college basketball standings here, and we're going to get ready to go with our previews here right now. Hello to Public Enemy right now as well. Who else? Anybody else stopping in to say hello? No, let's get rolling here with our previews today in the NFL to start us off. Man, only 3 games left. Come on. All right. Head out to Denver here with the Pats and the Broncos on Championship Sunday, with the Patriots favored on the road here by 3.5 right now, and going up against Jared Stidham of the Broncos. This is a big-time, well-kept secret here. This Jared Stidham, he's really the best quarterback in the league, but we just don't know it because he never plays. Apparently, he's so good that the total in this game, which opened 40.5, is all the way up to 43, and it's all based on Jared Stidham. He's the one who's seen his numbers in the prop markets rise all this week. The public is really fallen in love with the possibility that Jared Stidham is going to come through in this game. I think he might even be better than Bo Nix the way he's being bet here this week. So, man, poor New England, what a season it's been. But with the secret weapon Stidham in here right now, sure, he hasn't thrown a pass in over 2 years in the NFL, and he's basically just a career backup, but maybe he's a well-kept secret. Maybe after this, once he goes out there and just has an okay performance, which will be off the charts, he'll move on to another team and get a big contract and be a starting quarterback in this league like he so deserves. Still, he's going to have to get by with a running game that has been almost non-existent for the most part here with R.J. Harvey. In fact, the way I'm kind of framing this one with the Broncos and their offense is R.J. Harvey is going to be one of the key players in this game, I would think, for Denver, but just not in the running game. They've been ending up going to the passing game with R.J. Harvey, and I think Harvey will be in line for maybe more receptions and carry. Well, maybe not more receptions and carries, but maybe more impactful in the receiving game, maybe more yards. How's that in the receiving game for R.J. Harvey? McLaughlin, had some good numbers when he carried the ball, and Beatty, he just ends up running kicks back, but he could get carries. For Denver, I do like Cortland Sutton here. He might be my favorite player on Denver today. As far as the props are concerned, I think Stidham would be smart, obviously, to look for the number 1 receiver in Sutton. Also, Marvin Mims Jr. has a good matchup as well. Pat Bryant, remember we talked about Bryant in that last game. We pumped him up. We said, hey, look for Pat Bryant. This was just last week, right? We said, look for Pat Bryant. He might be our underrated star. Well, he was, and he got all of his props despite getting knocked out of the first quarter with injury in that game, and he is able to come back. You rarely see players able to come back nowadays in the NFL from a concussion in less than a week, but, maybe with this being the championship, maybe the AFC championship. So Pat Bryant will be back in there. It is a decent matchup. Bryant may be able to get enough action here to carry his props here again today against this Patriots defense. As good as they are, Patriots defense may be underrated here this season, despite how good they've been. We talk so much about Drake Drake May and his successes. We sometimes forget about the Patriots defense here. Look, Denver's supposed to have the great defense, but they've gotten exploited a few times. It made me wonder because I was calling them kind of an historical defense a little bit, but maybe it's not all that. They still have some great players. I mean, I think Nick Bonito is one of the best defensive players in the league. That's obvious, but the number 2 rush defense in the league for the Denver Broncos could keep the wraps on Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson here. So get into the passing game with Drake May, with Stephon Diggs, and my overall top player in today's prop market is going to be Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots here. Now, I'm not saying that he'll have the best yardage of anybody on the card here today, but comparatively to his prop numbers, I think Hunter Henry, who's had a great career, I mean, there's no doubt this guy's been a very, very, very good tight end over the years. I think he could have his career moment here today for the New England Patriots. But also watch for Austin Hooper, the other tight end, whose yardage is relatively modest. I think Drake May utilizes the tight ends against this Denver defense. That's the one area where Denver has had some struggles here. So Hunter Henry, my favorite player, and maybe Austin Hooper, also one of my favorite. His numbers, I believe, is just 11 yards receiving for his yardage total for Austin Hooper, and he can get that with just one catch actually today. He may need 2, but I believe his average catch is above 11 yards, so he might just need the 1 to beat those numbers. Also, in the kicking game, this is in Denver. Look, it is cold, but there is no precipitation, although it is expected to snow at the end of the game. It could start snowing before the end of the game, but it'd be right at the end of the game because overtime. That's how, these forecasts are so accurate. I'm just looking at the AccuWeather forecast here in the at the stadium and the expectations, but it is expected to snow at the end of the game, slightly there, but whether or not it'll happen during the game, probably not. So that frees it up for the kickers a little bit. It is 22 degrees, so you do have a hard football, that's for sure, but kickers in Denver in the postseason have been very, very solid through the years. As long as the weather is clear, this has always been. We know in Denver, the ball travels farther. We know that, but just for whatever reason, the accuracy too has been very, very strong for kickers. Not only the Denver kicker, but the opposing kicker over the years. This year too, for the most part. Great place to kick if you're a kicker. If I can make some money. So we'll see just that for Peyton, what will his attitude be and what will the score be? It could limit Lutz's chances, actually, if they are in a go-for-it mode. Whether or not they'll tone it down because, of having their backup quarterback in there not showing confidence in Stidham. I'm not sure that's the case. A lot of people have talked this week, and this is fair. I don't know if it's criticism, but that Peyton maybe is just more looking at this as an opportunity to show how good he is as a coach, right? Sticking with Stidham here. Look, in the championship game, you're not going to go out and get another quarterback like we saw some other teams do or try when they were in more of a desperation mode. Here, you're in the AFC Championship. You got a guy like Stidham who's been with this program now for a few years. He knows what's going on with it. So they'll roll, of course, with Stidham. All right, and let me see what you guys got in this one today between the Patriots and the Broncos. You're welcome to comment in the chat here. New England, of course, has won and covered 5 straight games coming into this one. They're also 8-4 ATS in their last 12 games against the Denver Broncos. New England has gone over in 6 of their last 7 games overall. Denver's gone over in 5 of their last 7, and 8 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Denver's won 9 of their last 10 games at home right now coming in, so we know how good the teams are. But what'll happen today? Let's go to the chat, and I'll make my call here tonight between the Patriots and the Broncos. What a good matchup. Okay, here we go. Some of your picks coming through. Here's Blue, Lotto Dee Dotto Die. He's got the Broncos. Hey, it wouldn't be an NFL Sunday if Nuke wasn't picking both quarterbacks to throw a pick at 2-1 here. 9 Legacy Patriots on the spread. Full game over. And let's see here. Farmer Jake, he's giving us the lowdown on the officials here. Said those favorites have been winners, I think, in his games, 30-3 straight up with an average margin of victory of 12.3 points per game. What a great stat here from Farmer Jake. Thank you so much with the home team going there. 25-8, he says there to the over. How about 25-8 ATS? How about that with Kemp in there? All right, I know the home teams are pretty much 50-50, so interesting to note with the record of the favorites there with Kemp in there today. Thank you, Barma Jake. Oh, that's very great stats here. I probably wouldn't have looked that one up. T-Bird says a Denver quarterback has no real-time experience. He does have 4 starts in his career. And Bo Nix, I believe, is underrated a little bit by the public. I mean, yes, game manager, yes. Some maybe evolving out of the game manager mode, but some games he would have to resort to just getting it done and then would end up with under 150 yards passing. But the defense was so good, they didn't. Some of the games early on, they weren't necessarily crushing in those games. So thank you to T Bird there. He's got the Patriots in this one. Also, Irish King, Patriots team total over. Diggs and Henderson for a touchdown here. Okay. Also, let's see here. Oh, pardon me, guys. Mike Humphrey says Stidham channels up. He's going to do a little Trent Dilfer action there and keep this thing close within 5 points there. Okay. Bobby Mack here. On the Broncos, our Tomps on the Broncos, getting those points at home. It's hard to, turn it down as a home dog. Public Enemy laying it here. Public Enemy says is Bo Nix playing, right? Like maybe the spread is a little bit too low there. He likes the Patriots. All right, Elliot says he likes the Patriots as well. And Blake says Patriots first half. Well, look, here's a little secret here, or not secret at all, but the Patriots have actually dominated the first half. Are they 18-0, 18-1 in the first half against the spread this year? They are the fastest starting team by far here. I don't have it exactly, but they've got to be, I believe, either I think 18-1 in the first half this season. Maybe it's 18 in a row. Did they lose the first half of the first week? Is that it? And then won all the first halves after that. So if you like angles, there you go. The Patriots are an incredible starting team to get the game going. They just dominate the first half all season long. Part of it, maybe that easier schedule. They've beaten those teams pretty handily here. But again, they're covering all the games. They're 10-3. Against the spread as favorites this year, 15-1 overall, 13-3 against the spread in their last 16. In their last 4 games, Patriots have allowed just 39 points, under 10 points per game. Last 3 games, Patriots also with 13 sacks. Drake Mays 2-0 now as an NFL quarterback in the playoffs. Mike Vrabel 4-3 as a head coach in his playoff career, and 2-1 on the road. Patriots have held their team opponents under their team total in 15 of 17 games this season. The Patriots have gone over in 10 of their last 13, so that's how dominant they've really been. There was a time when some of the numbers would have pointed early on this season the Patriots were doing some things that only Super Bowl caliber teams do. They definitely came back to the pack a little bit there for sure as the season progressed, but again, finished with such a dynamic season as they try to get to their 12th ever
major line move
Super Bowl here. The Patriots also 3-1 against the spread as a road favorite this season. So for Stidham, he's played in 4 games as a starter in his career. Through his last pass in 2023, that was his last start. He's 1-3 as an NFL starter. But remember, the Patriots drafted Stidham to start his career. Did play a little bit for the Patriots in the past. Broncos have won 14 of their last 15 overall. Peyton is 10-9 in his career in playoff games. Of course, he won the Super Bowl, remember, with New Orleans. We know the backstory behind that over 15 years ago with Bountygate. Paid the price for it. Eventually kind of cost him his job in the end. But Denver 4-1 ATS is an underdog this season. In their losses, Denver did give up quite a few points in those losses this season. Those 3 losses, they gave up 29, 23, and 34 points. You're always going to give up more when you lose, obviously. But Denver 12-2 in games decided by a touchdown or less. They're also 9-1 when they score more than 20 points. They'll have to get that today. These 2 teams have split their last 6 meetings. They've also split their last 6 meetings here in Denver. The first time since 2017 that the road team has been favored in a conference title game. This series has gone over in 6 of the last 8 meetings. Coming into this one, they met back in 2023 at Denver in a regular season matchup. Patriots won it 26-23 as a 7-point dog back in December of 2023. Couple more comments from you guys. It's going to be Nate. He's got the Patriots in the first quarter and the first half. Nate must be sitting on a pile of money the way the Patriots have rocked the first half this season. Man, maybe Nate knows. 18-1. 18-1 ATS in the first half. Hey, we'd be remiss if we didn't pass any steam that came in on the show. Here it is. One of our 5 basketball games in the colleges. Wisconsin is getting steamed right now. They were a 7-point favorite, but Wisconsin taking the steam here this morning, and the Wisconsin Badgers are up to 8.5 right now. A little steam coming in right there. Also, Nate says Henry for an ATD. Billy Eagle Flyer, Broncos plus the points in there. Taking Seattle as well. Irish King says Rams win. Patriots and Rams in the Super Bowl. Remember the Patriots and Rams Super Bowl? That was a pretty good Super Bowl. Patriots money line for Barr. James Farm likes under in the first quarter. All right, I think all your guys' comments are in here in this one. I've got to take the New England Patriots here in this one to win over the Broncos. I think having a backup quarterback in the championship game is not a great situation. As solid as maybe Stidham can be here, I just feel like this is a big difference when you drop down from a guy like Bo Nix, who definitely is going to be around for a while, man. This guy's done the job. Done a pretty good job here, and I think it is a big-time downgrade that allow the Patriots. Not going to doubt Sean Payton, but his arrogance might get the best of him here. There's no doubt you have to go with what you got. So let's just see what kind of game plan they designed for him. I'll just point out, though, that all of his numbers, all of his prop numbers this week, what they came out originally have all been bet up like almost like they're going to throw more with Stidham than they would with Bo Nix. So I don't know if that's, the recipe, but, as good as the Patriots are run defense wise, they might have, a weak enough defense that they, could give up yardage to these guys, but the Broncos kind of just refuse to really commit to the run. So they're going to have to rely on Stidham here to get something done, no doubt about it. I just think that's just too much of a downgrade here. Yeah, we've seen other quarterbacks. Look, if you listen to the sharps out here,
Major line move.
This is no problem, man. In fact, going to Stidham sounds like it's been the best move overall. Why have we been even playing Bo Nix? Where's this guy been all season? The way everyone's hyping up, it's just a backup quarterback. You can overlook it, and things like that. So, hey, here's another piece of steam coming in. It's a game between Southern Illinois and Evansville. These Sharps can't wait. Under here is the move at 142.5. It looks like it's down here to 141 between Southern Illinois, 140.5 actually between Southern Illinois and Evansville. All right, and here we go. Let's see, bars on the. Oh, we already said that one. Public Enemy says Bo Nix ain't playing today. Come on, if he is playing, he likes the Broncos to cover. Right, right. They need Bo Nix in there, but Bo Nix unfortunately has a broken ankle, so he's out for the season there. And I think they said actually his surgery went well, and that it will be. The rehab there, but M the Great likes Stidham for an interception, and the Pats on the money line. All right, I think that's it for this one. I'm going to take the New England Patriots here in this game over the Denver Broncos. And look, I think for Denver, they've got to get back to one of those games. I'm probably at 43.5. I'm probably willing to take the under as well in this game. Like I said, for Denver, remember, this is supposedly a historic defense, and if they're going to really win this game, they're going to need to. I don't think Stidham, if he has a game that maybe the odds makers are projecting here, and usually they're right, and the public's right, but I think they're more in. Denver needs 19-17, not 38-35 there, so. All right, I think that's going to do it. Give you guys one last chance. If not, we're going to go on to the next one and take a look at the afternoon game that will be with you on the air here. Austin Nuke says, who is the backup to Jared Stidham in there? It's the gunslinger, Sam Ellinger. But, he's just as good, too. I mean, he's practically as good as Bo Nix and practically as good as Stidham in there. Don't worry. They might bring in the gunslinger, Sam Ellinger. Chelsea just scored again here. All right. Mac Hollins, probable today for New England.
Major line move.
All right, let's go to the afternoon game. The game will be with you here on the Sports Money Network with the Rams taking on the Seahawks today for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Seahawks here favored by 2. There are some 2.5s, I believe, out there, but mostly looking at 2s here. You know what? I might call it 2.5. I guess I'm just looking more at circa like I always do, but kind of hard not to notice that most of the books here sitting at 2.5 right now in the total. 45.5 here in this one in Seattle. Cold conditions, but no inclement weather necessarily to talk about. They said it'd be about low 40s in this one, getting a little bit colder, but no precipitation today. So should be a good one there. Good conditions in Seattle for this matchup. And hey, you're going to need it you've got Matthew Stafford here for the Rams, of course, and his great receivers with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. But behind that, you've got guys who were getting involved, and we saw Whittington get multiple targets in there. And also good tight end situation with Tyler Higbee and Cody Parkinson in this one. Even Ferguson might get mentioned here a little bit. So, look, the Rams have the horses, if you will, to keep pace in this game with Seattle. Seattle's got a great defense, though, and knows how to hold these guys down a little bit here. Darnold with that oblique strain, but he's ruled probable. They've already said pretty much just healed overall there. But look, he's got another guy. I know I mentioned Hunter Henry as the number one guy, and I do think just because of his numbers, I like Hunter Henry. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, whether or not you think he's been a little bit off or whatever, he's definitely missed his projections in the last 3 games here. Still had a good game there against the Niners, but he definitely missed some of his projections over the last few games for sure. So he's set for a big game. It feels like JSN here with this particular matchup, and I don't mind at all his props. I mean, I like the props for JSN in this game. He's probably my favorite player in the game for the props today. But also, you could look to Barner at tight end as well. And one thing that has been, I don't know if it's been overlooked, but it just seems like nobody's been talking about the fact that Charbonnet was injured and is out for this game with a torn knee ligament. So he's out for the season here, and that puts all the pressure on Walker. And we know Walker is, a pretty fine running back for sure. In fact, last game he destroyed against the 49ers with 116 yards rushing and, of course, the 3 touchdowns. So, look, he's a great option, but they had a great combination too with Charbonnet. Walker is not necessarily the type of dominant back, although he could have been called that in last game given those numbers. But also watch for George Halani. His odds might be good enough for you. He is the backup for Seattle. And look, they do use 2 backs, even though Halani has not played in 8 weeks with a hamstring pull, and he really hasn't been that active. Seattle just has a tendency to play both running backs more frequently than others. So look for George Halani. Look at his odds today. Maybe you could consider him here. Look, I think Seattle has the best matchup of any of the 4 teams for the running game. It's not an awesome matchup, but the Rams defense here is, as good as they were there, they've kind of disappeared. Everyone's saying this Rams defense has struggled for sure in a few games here of late. Remember, the Rams actually, despite winning the 2 playoff games here, remember they had losses to Seattle and Atlanta on the road. It kind of cost them a chance to maybe even play this game at home with those losses. So just Holani looks like an interesting prospect in this game. As far as Cooper Kupp is concerned, I have my concerns about Kupp, but they're going to have to use him. If anything, that maybe Seattle is a little bit short on the receiving end of it here, especially with a team with a look. The Rams defense maybe got exploited a little bit here in the postseason, but still they have some great defensive players like Jared Verse and company. So we'll see. But Rashid Shaheed, explosive in the return game, and we saw what he did this late season. Remember, the Rams have had probably some of the worst special teams in the league. They fired their special teams coach several weeks ago, so watch out. I mean, Rashid Shaheed has already returned 3 kicks for touchdowns. I mean, this guy's got Hester-like ability, and if he gets one today, that will be the difference, I'm sure, for the Seattle Seahawks. So also Jake Bobo may get some run here. He's a real long shot today, but hey, he did have a catch in the last game. So if they are a little bit thin and you're not seeing much production from Derek Young or Rashid Shaheed, maybe Jake Bobo can. He's had his moments in his career. I mean, we've seen him excel on some primetime games in the past as well. Not this year, but also AJ Barner probably will get some good run in there as well. Let me hear from you guys in the chat as we get ready for this one with the Rams and the Seahawks today. The Rams have covered 13 of their last 20 games. Rams have also won 11 of their last 14. They've covered the spread in 9 of the last 11 meetings with the Seahawks. Seattle on their 8-game winning streak. They've gone 10-3 ATS in their last 13. They've won 8 straight and won 6 straight at home. 10 of the last 14 meetings between these two teams have gone under. 10 of the last 14 under, but the Rams right now have gone over in 7 of their last 8 games here, and I think this one's going over between the Rams and critical Seattle here. So I like the over in this game today with the Rams and the Seahawks. Let me go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one. Here we go. Nuke says he's just as bad. Okay, here's James Farm, Rams -2. Blake going over as well with me here. T Bird, he does like the under in the first half. And Nuke's not going to hold back. He's going with both quarterbacks to throw a pick today. Nuke, what quarterback would have to play for you not to pick an, an interception? Let's see here. Robert on the Rams, and he'll take the money line. All right, I'll try to stall here for another minute or two, see if there's any more picks from the crew here today from the chat all stars. But you guys are done, and maybe because this one is a lot tougher here right now. Look, the Rams have the ability. I didn't even really mention the prospects for Puka Nacua and for Devontae Adams here. You know, Nakua's numbers are high. That they're high enough. I'm kind of neutral on them, but I might just play him anyways because I think Puka Nacua in a winning scenario can and should reach his numbers. In a scenario where the Rams are trailing, I believe they go desperation with Puka Nacua sometimes. He could have a monster game. I mean, that's an easy prediction, I know. He's really coming off of, a substandard game for him with just five receptions last game for 56 yards. But before that, he had some, pretty good games, obviously. And everybody remembers that game against Seattle. The reason why I mentioned, 12 receptions, maybe even more in this game was, remember, in the 38-37 game, the incredible game against Seattle, the incredible finish, the bizarre circumstances. Nacua in that game, 12 receptions on 16 targets for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns against Seattle in the first meeting at home where they won, 21-19. Just to put some context to it, Seattle did win the late season matchup at home in that wild one, 38-37. Earlier in the season, Rams won at home 21-19. In that game, Nacua, 7 receptions on 8 targets with 75 yards. He did fumble in that game, but that is a rarity for him. So, it was not a great game for Nacua last week. It was cold. It was real cold. It was more cold than it's going to be here today. And maybe Nacua, I said, hey, he shouldn't have a problem. This guy played at BYU, but he is from Hawaii after all. So maybe a little warmer today, maybe a bigger game today. And like I said, if the Rams are behind, he's going to even have a bigger performance here. So I think Nacua could really be a guy who could have a monster game. I mean, that's easy to say. This guy's incredible. But they might need him to have the monster game in order to win. But you could trust, right? Not many question marks about Stafford's at least ability to keep them in the game or maybe even win the game for them. I think in general, would probably prefer Stafford to Darnold, but when you got a great defense like Seattle has, that's an equalizer here. I still think it goes over. The Rams will have enough offense here for them with Nacua, with Adams, and didn't mention too much about the run game yet for the Rams here, but I've got the Seahawks as a top 3 defense. I think it will be very, very difficult to run. They've already shown they don't want to go with Corum for some reason. I don't know what that reason would be. Corum's had moments where he can be very, very good. But for Kyron Williams here, he did have a great game against the Bears last time out. Maybe they'll be using him here for sure a little bit. But why they've gotten away from Corum, I'm not quite sure. So, and as far as Devontae Adams is concerned too, I think his matchup's just fine. So I think it goes over the 45.5 here in the AFC Championship game. The primetime game on Championship Sunday, that's the 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. They played the same times for the NFC and AFC Championship game. The Championship Sundays played the same time slot, 3 p.m. and 6:30 for probably the last 35 years. So in comparison to the early game, the primetime game here has actually been a monster to the over the last 2 decades. I believe it's 18-4 and maybe 1 push, I think they said, to the over on the primetime game, the later game there. So All right, a few more picks from you guys. Thanks a lot. Public Enemy, Rams, Moneyline, and over. Mike says he's going over as well. He's waiting to see if it drops more. Yeah, good point. I mean, this total has dropped a little bit. We even see some 46s though out here. Seattle 4-9 Legacy. Seth Dominius here is on the Rams. Blake says he's got Adams and Nakua both to score a touchdown, and Twisted bringing us his college basketball. That'll be probably good enough to end the football segment. Get to some basketball previews here in just a moment. Man, just always a letdown. It feels like after talking football and have to go to the NBA card when we got such great games today. But that's how we do it here on the show. We gotta have some other bets out here. Just wish we had an early basketball game. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy those games, and make sure you join us today at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, right here on the Sports Money Network. Companion stream coverage of the game between the Rams and the Seahawks. All right. Let's go to the NBA. Let's go to the NBA. Can we just play the football games already and have a great day? Let's go to the card here right now and take a look with the Kings taking on the Pistons here. Hey, even if this one was at noon Eastern, I'd be satisfied, despite the fact that it is a lopsided game here with, Chelsea, another goal. With the Pistons, 2 touchdown favorites here against the Kings here today. Pistons continuing to dominate the NBA here right now while the teams fall into the wayside in their hot streaks. Pistons just keep going here right now. They did lose last game, but that just stopped another winning streak that they were on. They dropped a decision here the other night to Houston, 111-104 at home. Nice job by the Rockets in that one. For Detroit here, though, still they've won 4 of their last 5. They've only covered 2 of their last 6 overall. Sacramento's lost 8 straight games on the road. Also, Sacramento's lost 4 of their last 5 overall. They've covered 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Detroit has gone under in 10 straight games right now, and the Kings have gone over in 4 of their last 5 games coming in overall. For the injury report here in this one between Sacramento and Detroit, still have Detroit some lingering injuries here with Cade Cunningham, but he is probable, and Duran is in the game. Levert is doubtful here for the Kings. Zach LaVine, he is questionable in this one. Keegan Murray's still out as well. So let's see what you have here. In fact, this one, was as high as 14. DraftKings opened at 14.5. Now some spots are even down to 12.5. Look, the Kings have done an okay job in covering some games, but right now they're in a big-time slump here again, 4-game losing streak. They did cover against Cleveland in their last game, getting 13 points, by the way. We were on Sacramento in that game, but we're seeing some postponements here of some games tomorrow already. Some of the mid-major games for tomorrow are already starting to get postponed here for the next day. So a little bit of postponements here already on Monday. We've seen 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 games already postponed from Monday here. So that weather continuing here. Funny, all the women's games in college basketball are just fine, but they're playing them in kind of north of the cold front. All right. Keep it going here right now. Let me know what you have in this one with Sacramento taking on the Detroit Pistons here today. This one I feel a little more like the Pistons kind of get this blowout here. I know, look, I was on the Kings last game against Cleveland. They covered the spread, lost by just 5. But Pistons are still a dynamic home cover team here of late. They've won 17 of 22 at home, just 12 and 11 actually ATS. But Sacramento 8 and 13 against the spread on the road, 19 and 26 against the spread, or 16 and 26 against the spread as an underdog. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the big points here with the Detroit basketball. Where's AOD in the chat? If you guys want to make a pick on this one, let me know. And it's going to be Robert has under there in the Villa game, 1-0, 65th minute right now. And Seth's, yeah, we got to find some bets to make, right? Maybe we'll have some women's ball. I gave out a pick on the show there yesterday in the women's basketball. Okay. And T-Bird likes Seattle because of Stafford's inability to run here and that pressure from Seattle. Thank you. Kings on the spread for 9 legacy. Seth is on the Kings as well. Pistons game to go under, says Blake. And thank you, Twisted, for those great plays. Like I said, Twisted types them in. We put it on the screen. I mean, we're not going to let it go by just some chat comment. We're going to put it on the screen. In fact, I forgot to start putting the show comments on the screen here. I keep forgetting to do that. And I want to do that with you guys and have everyone be able to look at the plays, look at this comments there from everybody. Darn it, I keep forgetting that. Okay, thanks for reminding me. Robert on the under here, Public Enemy on the under here as well. I think that's the way it's going as far as the total is concerned. And James Parham, Detroit Moneyline, and the under. All right, the Nuggets are going to take on the Grizzlies here. NBA action for Sunday. Got Denver coming in here, 31 and 15. Memphis comes in 18 and 25, but Memphis still going to be favored here in this one. You know, Denver, I keep talking about how good they've been against the spread and winning here without Nikola Jokic in the lineup, and it's true. I mean, they still continue to do it, but they've also thrown in some clunkers. So just kind of try to determine, you know, if it's the right spot or not for the Denver Nuggets. They're an underdog here, so maybe there is a chance. But remember, Denver feels like the team that when the spread is telling you who to take, that it's more accurate with Denver games. Remember the other a few games ago, they were against Charlotte at home, right? And this was, you know, we've had these injuries or whatever, and I think Murray was out of that game or was scheduled to be out. I think did he play in that game, but was just ineffective. Anyway, the point being, they were 2.5-point underdogs at home to Charlotte, which, you know, you'd be like, oh, that doesn't seem to make any sense. But in the end, Charlotte beat them by 23 points in that game. So sometimes on the spread in these Denver games, I think, and if you look at this one, you'd have to think maybe it is Memphis's game here against the Nuggets here today. But the spread's up to 5 here at a lot of spots, and I think the total's actually dropped here right now. Let me take a look. It might be down to 2. Yeah, it's been dropping here for sure in this one, and maybe I'll just go to the total because I agree with it, and the total's kind of getting away. It's down to 222 here right now, and the Grizzlies are up to a 5-point favorite. So if you go by these odds, I mean, it'd have to be Memphis and the under, I would guess here. But take a look at some of the trends and numbers while you guys enter in your plays here, maybe in the chat with this one for Denver here. They've won 8 of their last 9 games against the Memphis Grizzlies and covered 6 of the last 7 against them. They've also gone 6-2 in their last 8. Memphis has gone just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. They've dropped 9 of their last 12, but they're favored here in this one, despite the fact that they just lost at home to Atlanta and New Orleans. So that was after they returned from that trip to Europe. I guess you could write it off as a little bit of, it usually just takes one game, right? They got beat by New Orleans at home, too. They were favored in both those games and didn't look very good. So I kind of expect a bounce back, actually, in this game. Denver's gone under in 4 of their last 5, and Memphis has gone over in 5 of their last 6. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but I'm going to take the under here in this one between Denver and Memphis here. I'm taking under. Look, this one was already, it was 226.5, I think, on some of these openers. So, yeah, there's probably no value to it. You might consider some people might want to go over now, but Denver's won the last 3 meetings between the two and covered the spread in all of them, including twice here in Memphis. Earlier this season, Denver won here 125-115 is a 6.5 point favorite. They also won it. That was the only meeting so far this season between the two teams, actually. Okay. Any more comments from the crew on this one? Take a look at it here with
critical notice.
Another postponed game tomorrow. Add another one. We might not have any games tomorrow by the time we're done with it. Everyone already knowing they can't get on a plane, tonight. So, okay, Nuggets for Blake. You got Robert on the under. And Mike says the Nuggets and the Bucks, that was unwatchable. That 102-100 victory there for Denver. They were an underdog in that game by 8.5 points and still got the money, of course. Irish King says Memphis first quarter. 9 Legacy Denver on the spread. Public Enemy Memphis game to go under. And T-Bird likes the double-double for Cunningham. Yeah, and like I said, Cunningham back in the lineup there. I'm talking about this game, but I want to mention that in there. Okay, I'll take the under in this one. Let's go to the next one here now with, this is our makeup game here. It was postponed yesterday after that murder beat in the street with the Warriors taking on the Timberwolves here in this one. The Timberwolves are favored by 7 and 235. Now, look, probably should just go back to what we predicted here for the game yesterday. It might be
final.
A little bit where don't want to mess with it or confuse anybody. I'm not changing, I don't think, from. We went with the Timberwolves here on the show yesterday, -6.5. It is up to 7. I am expecting this maybe to be a lower scoring game, so maybe we could do the old parlay action here, because I like Minnesota here -6.5 and under 235.5 here in this one. Hopefully this one will get played. There won't be any interference here. I think the thing was, while there are some logistical situations there with law enforcement and, you got to have some representation at a sporting event, but I think more so it was just the killing of that man that, made him, in Minneapolis for some situations. So just cancel the game. They played the hockey game over in St. Paul last night. That wasn't a problem, but Target Center is in Minneapolis, so it was a little bit different there. And I'm sure this one will get played here tonight, unless there's another incident today that we know. There'll probably be some protests out there, but hopefully we get this one played. Now, ironically, this was already scheduled to be a double game. What does Mike call? What do we call these games? What was a double dipper or something? That these two teams play again tomorrow night right here in Minnesota. So it will be a back-to-back now, whereas before they were going to have Sunday off. So they'll be back at it here tomorrow in Minnesota for the second game of this trip. So hopefully it all goes good. Maybe they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow if it doesn't go. Minnesota here. I'm taking Minnesota in this one minus the points and the under. Let me just run over. Detroit's getting steamed right now in that game against Sacramento. They're up to 14.5 right now. Detroit taking that steam. I guess they're listening to me out there. Remember, the Morning Steam is the show watched by professional bettors and bookmakers around the country. So that's what they tell me. I'm just not making that up. All right. All right. So Minnesota in the under for me. I'll take both the side and the total since it's a special makeup game here, or they'll get the game played here tonight, and hopefully all goes well. All right. Any comments from the chat here on this one? Let's take a look. And we've got Mike still going to go under in this one. Kane likes the over, though. Blake says Timberwolves. Warriors might not even want to be there. Although, you do have, I know we've got a right-leaning audience, and Ramon gets made fun of being a kind of a lefty, but there's no doubt Kerr's a little bit more left than me, I think, right? So, all right. Appreciate that.
Final.
All right. Here we go. I think that's it for that one. So hopefully that one gets played. Here we go. Next up. Pelicans and Spurs action here in San Antonio. The Spurs are favored in this one by 12, and the total 239.5 here. Another big old spread for the Spurs. There was a Pop sighting yesterday. It was in Austin. Pop went to, you know what? There must be an injury situation here right now for Sacramento that just we don't have yet. Let me see if we can get this right now. I'm sure we'll get it because the steam is also coming in on the under in the game between Sacramento and Detroit right now. So Detroit just got steamed and the under just got steamed in that game. We mentioned the injury report there for Sacramento. Could it be that Zach LaVine is going to be officially out of this game? I would imagine that might be the case. Not sure. Maybe they're just steaming both, but usually there's a little bit of correlation, if you will, and we are seeing both a move to the side and the total here in the game right now. So, okay, but here we are talking. Here we are talking the Pelicans and Spurs. With Spurs here, maybe 11.5, maybe 239.5 right now. The Spurs coming in off of a win. New Orleans is coming in off of a win here. New Orleans wins over Memphis 133 to 127 a couple of nights ago. The Spurs are in off of a loss, off of a win over Utah 126 to 109. San Antonio comes in here 11-9 ATS at home. New Orleans just 4-6 ATS in their last 10, maybe nondescript as far as the trends are concerned here. But if you look at this series overall, New Orleans has actually covered 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two. San Antonio has gone under in 11 of their last 12 games coming in. New Orleans has gone under in 8 of their last 12. San Antonio is 11-19 to the under as a favorite and 8-13 to the under at home. I will mention that New Orleans is 24-19 to the over as an underdog, but New Orleans has gone just 5-12 ATS in their last 17 games. San Antonio's won 4 of their last 5 and 5 of their last 6 at home, but have gone just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. And I want to hear from you in this one. New Orleans taking on San Antonio, getting those big points today. But, I might be having some under regret here actually in this one. The total right now at 239.5. It's only kind of gone up actually, so I might be on the wrong side there. Let me hear from you in the chat, and I'll make my call on this one between the Pelicans and the Spurs today. Go to the chat all-stars here. We've got Public Enemy, 7-point favorite. Bobby Mack has trouble with right. How do you do the scissors right? If you're, I think you're supposed to take them and put the fingers in the thumb portion, right, Robert? And it's just not as comfortable. But I think right, aren't you supposed to do it like that? All right. And Mike says, yeah, could be missing those guys there. Murray's already been out. So 9 legacy, Timberwolves, red Timberwolves, Pelicans on the spread there, I think. Blake here on the under in this one. I'm glad Blake's on the under because that's what I ended up taking. But like I said, I'm having some maybe regret here with that. But yeah, maybe they will get it done actually. And any more here in the chat? I'm going to take the Pelicans in this game plus the points against San Antonio. Give me the Pels to cover in this one. Anyways, what I was saying was there was a Popovich was seen at G League game last night with Austin. Got a great ovation. Looked great. He's looking frail there and walking with a cane. He's not coming back to coaching or anything like that. But it was nice today. It was nice to see Pop there. Got a big ovation from the fans in Austin, Texas. Okay, also Public Enemy on. Okay, I'm glad we got some unders in here. That makes me feel a little better. Hello to Jimmy Dewagger in the chat today. Here comes the next one now. Between the Mavericks and the Bucks here. The Bucks a slight favorite here by 1. We know no Giannis here in this game, but total here 219, 220 or so in this one. So yeah, no Giannis here in this one, and he's going to be out for a while. His injury is a calf injury. That's the same injury that knocked him out for several weeks previously. I don't think it would be any different right now. So he's out of this one. He's out for a while, it feels like. Kevin Porter Jr. is out. AJ Green questionable here. Trent Green probable for the Mavericks. We know Davis is out here long term. Cisse is questionable right now. And that's pretty much it for the short term injuries in this matchup. So do have it pretty much a toss up here in this one. For Dallas here, they have won 4 out of their last 5. They did play last night. They choked that game to the Lakers for sure. There's just no other way around it. The youth of the Mavericks were overcome by the veterans on the Lakers there late. Dallas had originally built a 12-point lead with under 5 minutes to go in the game, and the Lakers got a 10-0 run to close to within 2 and went right by. No doubt about it. In that game. So really been a tough loss here for Dallas. Not only that, they had to get on a plane right away here to get to Milwaukee. So it does feel like this is a real tough spot as far as the back-to-back of it. Now, maybe you think without Giannis, this Bucks team, yeah, they've had some problems here for sure. They're a team that doesn't play well without their star. And Dallas is 17-13 ATS as a dog. I guess they're technically a dog, but they're also 5-14 straight up on the road. So, look, this is probably a pretty good spot for the Bucks. I'm going to have to take them here. That game went over, not overtime, but like I said, for the disappointment, Dallas was hot. So I'm not saying that they still aren't playing well. I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit here. They had a little winning streak before they lost that one. Just felt like a little bit of a thump because they were riding high. They were ready to go on to their 5th straight win last night and beat the Lakers at home. They'd already beaten the Warriors and the Knicks in back-to-back games, and then the Lakers made that comeback. It makes me want to put aside everyone talking down about the Lakers and their situation. I think a lot of people are misconstruing the long-term backstory here with the Lakers comparatively to their successes. Yeah, LeBron's been under the heat here this week. And here's a funny thing that LeBron, I know we're on the Dallas game here, but I thought this was, everyone knows I'm a big LeBron supporter, so I know I draw the ire a lot of everybody, but I will criticize him here for this one. He said that, he just doesn't pick up the phone and talk to the owner. I thought that was weird. I mean, you're LeBron James. You're not the 10th man on the bench, right? You'd think I would be if I would be talking to the owner all the time, actually. But the Lakers ownership is so dysfunctional. Maybe that's where it goes, right? I don't talk to GD Bus. I don't know what's going on. So it might be a little bit of a cop-out, too, because everyone, pretty much thinks that LeBron's the one pulling the strings, right? He's the one that got criticized for the whole situation with bringing in Westbrook and that disastrous season there. Anyways, forget it. We're talking Mavericks and Bucks here, and I'm taking the Bucks here to win at home over the Mavericks today. Okay, we'll talk about the Lakers when the Lakers play, and I can complain more about them. All right, let's see here. We got some more comments on this one. We've got, these are the Spurs picks back there. Here we go. Pelicans, not a good team, but somehow they always cover. Okay, here we go. Dallas ran out of gas last night against the Lakers. Yeah, that was tough to watch, really. Now, we were watching the UFC, but I had the game on, and when you're watching it, when no sound, right, you can see the body language there, and they just couldn't stop the Lakers there at the end, and they just, shrugged up. Here's Blake with me on the Bucks. Here's another cancellation for tomorrow. Now it's up to 12 games tomorrow. Tomorrow's college basketball schedule is only a little bit lighter than today's college basketball schedule. It feels like right now I'm now showing here. Well, there's still a few games left, but again, now we're up to 12 cancellations here on the college basketball schedule tomorrow. All right. And let's see here. Nunya says, there is a story behind this. I think he's saying Nunya wants to know how they got the Pelicans as a mascot. Remember what happened there. And I don't want to have the story all right, Nunya, but remember they were the New Orleans Hornets there for a while. And then, they came from Charlotte, came to New Orleans, kept the name. And then I think when Mr. Benson got issued a new franchise, Charlotte wanted their name back because they didn't want to be the Bobcats. And there are Pelicans in New Orleans. I know it feels like an awkward name. I mean, Pelicans are kind of kind of a goofball bird. All right, Twisted's here with some picks, so let me put that up. Thank you. But I think Mr. Benson actually liked the Pelicans name very, very much. I'm going to research that. I remember there was some story to it. I just don't remember it all. Okay. Mavs should be tired from last night. Maybe not a lot of effort. Look, there are some games where, it's always an easy storyline to say, hey, the back-to-back, they're going to be, but this one does feel like, maybe, hey, if you really are that team, if you're a guy like Cooper Flagg, maybe he'll just come out gangbusters, and that's really the sign of a championship-type team. I think when you're a team like the Mavericks, that's really going to be heartbreaking about to win that game, but still, the Bucks got to do it, remember, without Giannis here. All right, Bucks for Robert. 9 legacy on Milwaukee. And Mike says the team's in Utah. Utah now. The Utah. That was right. You're right, Mike. The original New Orleans Jazz, which made perfect sense. The Utah Jazz makes no sense, right? They should have. I'm sure there's some nice Jazz in Salt Lake City, but yeah, it was the New Orleans Jazz for all those years, and then they moved to Utah and just kept the nickname. Utah Jazz. Not a great nickname, but they're stuck with it now. All right. Exactly 9 legacy. If anyone should have the ear of the owner, to me that shows LeBron. Like when we think of and to be fair, right? I've defended LeBron mostly because of his, the charitable work. The China thing notwithstanding, he does say dumb things, no doubt about it. And I thought, to me, that shows a kind of a disingenuous attitude towards an organization if you're LeBron James and not talking to an owner. So I'll criticize LeBron. Everyone, don't think that Ramon just takes one side and sticks to it. Right? And let's see, he twisted it. Okay. I like the Pelicans too. It's a neat nickname. Come on. And they got a cool mascot. Not as good as, the Clippers mascot Chuck. If you've ever seen, he looks like they stole the Pelicans mascot. All right, here we go. We got to keep this show going right now. Raptors, and nobody wants this dumb talk. Raptors here taking on the Thunder tonight. Thunder, big spread here, of course, and we haven't been able to figure out when they cover big spread, when they don't. Does anybody figure it out? Please let me know in the chat. In fact, here, this one feels like one where they won't do it because Toronto's playing so well right now. They are just probably the most unheralded team here. Yes, do they play a little bit better at home? Maybe, but they're on a 3-game winning streak here right now. OKC coming off, they've lost 2 of their last 4. And Toronto's been absolutely terrific. Here of late, you got to give these guys a lot of credit. Bi, Ingram. R.J. Barrett in there, right? Quickly, my man Mamu Kalashvili. These guys are doing a great job. Of course, Scotty Barnes as well. They've won 3 in a row here, all of them on the road. 3 straight winning streak on the road. Golden State, Sacramento, and Portland. Now, this is their 5th straight road game, so could be adding up a little bit here. And you're going up against OKC. But again, OKC laying these big points. Half the time they cover, half the time they don't. There's no rhyme, no reason. And that's probably going to be the case when you're as good as they are and always having to lay, not always, but a lot of double digits. This doesn't seem like the one where you want to be laying double digits against a good team here like Toronto. Now, they have not played yet so far this season, but last year here in Oklahoma City when Toronto came in, they won by 12, did the Thunder as a 19-point favorite. But that Toronto team was having a little bit of struggles for sure. But I think Toronto can hang here in this one. Let me see what you guys have in the chat. Oklahoma City's gone over in 6 of the last 8 meetings with Toronto. They've also gone over in 4 of their last 5 games here coming into this one. See, this total is going down a little bit. That's probably the direction I want to go here in this one. Am I going under in every game here again? Man, I get. Well, look, the unders are kind of on a spree a little bit right now. Give me the under here in this one. I'm going to take another under here today with the Thunder and the Raptors. Okay, let's see what the chat has here. Let's wrap up this NBA. Yeah, that was a tough one there yesterday for sure. Also, Blake here on the Raptors, R. Thompson on the Thunder, however. Okay, let's go to 2 more here right now. And you got, this is a very, very insulting matchup for all those folks trapped in the cold spell. The Heat are taking on the Suns. How unfair is this? Maybe everybody can watch this game and get a little warmed up at 8:10 Eastern and 5 Pacific. The sun controls the world. The controversial take: the sun is responsible for all the racism in the world because of the way the positioning of the sun in relation to the earth and UV rays. How's that? All right, Suns here favored by 4.5 now. Is that right? This one's only been going up here for the Suns. They're favored by 4.5 here right now. Now for the Heat, Tyler Hero is out of this game, but Devin Booker's out of this game as well for Phoenix here. Jalen Green questionable. Miami Ware is questionable. Davion Mitchell also questionable here. The Suns have been on fire. We know they're just crushing it here right now. And the Heat are pretty inconsistent. We know we've been able to capitalize on them early here, but they've been giving some back for sure. Now, the Suns were on a 3-game winning streak, but they did lose last time out. 110 to 103 is a 3-point favorite at Atlanta, but they are returning home after a lengthy road trip. Miami, meanwhile, is on a lengthy road trip. This is their 5th straight game, and they've been alternating wins and losses here for the last 2 weeks. They won last game last night, 147 to 116, so they're on a back-to-back coming on here, taking on this Suns team that has been money, especially at home. Nobody's as good as the Suns at home against the spread. 15-4 against the spread are the Phoenix Suns, and 16-4 against the spread as a favorite. That is dominant. Now, Miami is 14-10 as an underdog against the spread, so got to give them a chance here. Maybe, especially with Booker out of this game. But again, you're missing Hero, one of your studs as well. So they're both without, 20 plus per game scorers in this game. Is that going to make me go on another under here? Let me hear from the chat. Maybe you can talk me into an over, but I don't know if you can. Phoenix, though, has gone under in 8 of their last 11 games coming in. They've been the under team. This is a contrast because the Heat are an over team for the most part. They are 15-10 to the over as a dog also. Over in 5 of their last 6 games on the road. They've gone over in 5 straight. Miami's covered 14 of the last 17 years here in Phoenix. Phoenix, though, 12-5 straight up in their last 17. They've covered 6 straight games at home. Looks like a good matchup here for the Phoenix Suns in this one. Just laying a little bit extra here right now. I'm going under here at 227.5. This one, in fact, as we speak, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the old steam noise coming in here real quick. This one is immediately down right now. DraftKings already down to 225.5, juice to the over, but this one's on the move right now. You could see it in the books
Final
here right now with this move to the under. Right now, Bet Online 226.5 under 18, DraftKings 225.5 over 15, Stations Casino here in Las Vegas 226, South Point 226.
Final.
So this one's going down here right now and I'll take the under as well. Let's get on it now. Here, comments from the chat, and here we go. In this game, we've got. Let's see. Thunder for. Oops, these are some picks from that last game that I might have missed. Thank you. Maybe it's under. Maybe that was the last game. Irish King on Phoenix first quarter. Also, let's see here. R. Tomps is on the under in this one. Blake's on the Suns. Robert's on the under. Heat money line for Public Enemy. And Wiggins here for Miami with the shuffling of the lineup there, maybe. And we had a great time last night. Didn't we, Stop Gio? That was a good card there. Had a lot of different things, and we were able to critique and criticize the Paramount Plus. Look, I'm seeing a lot of people on the internet today talking about how doesn't look like an improved product. To me, it's obvious that it's the same production, same exact production. You look at the graphics. There were some additional things. The rep was wearing a little camera right there. They tried to do the LFA thing, so there was that. But for the most part, it looks like the same exact production in the UFC. They're just probably, they probably have a truck out back of the Apex that they run every time. A lot of times I've had the opportunity to work in some capacity in broadcasting, believe it or not, even though I'm just here with you guys in this YouTube box, but also done like graphics behind the scenes, and usually it's the same people. Now, granted, they could have done it different. Maybe it is, but it looked like the same type of broadcast there in the UFC last night. All right, maybe a little bit of a different upstairs. They had a little different studio. Yep. Okay, let's get to the next one here. Last game, Nets and Clippers. Clippers favored here by 9 now, maybe 8.5 here. Maybe it's come back down to 8.5 in this game against the Nets. The Nets have been terrible, but they've had some covers too. And the Clippers, we know how dominant they've been. Now, the Nets have just lost 4 straight games once again, but they did cover against Boston last time out. They covered against Phoenix. They did not cover against the Knicks. Clippers, meanwhile, off of a win and cover over the Lakers. They've been pretty darn hot, but they are laying a bit of a number here. It looks like they're 8.5 and 2-11 here. Look, these Clipper games got so low. They're kind of back to playing that same defense, but still, you do want the best defender in there in Kawhi Leonard, and coming into this game is actually questionable. This is great news, actually, for Kawhi, because I thought, getting sent home from a road trip to have your knee looked at, that sounds bad. but he's questionable, actually. He's actually trending towards playing sooner rather than later. Whether or not he can make this lineup tonight, I'm not sure. But for the Nets, Clowney is doubtful. Traore is out. Cam Thomas is out. They're missing some guys here tonight. So I got the Clippers to blast here against the Nets in this one. Probably hold the Nets probably to under 100 points, I would imagine. They're somewhere close to that tonight. Maybe right around the 100-point mark. I just don't see any other way around it. Brooklyn here has gone 1-9 straight up in their last 10. They're also 1-5 straight up in the last 6 against the Clippers, 1-4 ATS against the Clippers in the last 5 games. Clippers have covered 9 of their last 10 games at home and 13 of their last 17 games overall. The soccer finals are coming in. Chelsea beat Crystal Palace 3-1. Nice over Nantes 4-1 in French action, and they're going to be rolling in here in just a moment with all the finals here. We'll start to hear it. Maybe I can read them off here before we get to the next action. Let's see what you have in this one, Clippers and the Nets. All right. Twisted. Now we got some college basketball coming in just a moment. I'm going to look at 3 games here real quick. Nine Legacy says Raptors on the spread. Kelly says she thought the Nets did well against the Clippers.
Final.
Clippers did. They did meet in their first meeting already. The Clippers won 121-105 as a 5.5-point favorite. It was 16 days ago. Blake's on the Clippers here. Public Enemy late 10. An Irish King first quarter. Kawhi, if he's in there, says Public Enemy to knock down the threes. Robert's liking the Clippers here. 9 Legacy Clippers as well on the spread here. All right, that's going to do it here for the NBA. So we're going to go to that college action here right now, but let's see what some of the scores were. Genoa beat Bologna 3-2. Forest over Brentford 2-0. Villa 2-0 over Newcastle there. They got that late goal from Watkins in that one. All right, let's get to those college games right now and take a look here. I got 3 games to look at. I'm not going to look at very many. I'm not going to look at any of those mid-majors here today. These games are barely any good. So let's take a look and get to some college action. Here's my current favorite team, I think, Florida Atlantic. Right now, man, this team's looking good. They are so young and so good. It feels like these are the kids that got recruited when Florida Atlantic was, when they went to the Final Four, remember, and had that great year. This team's young. They're good. They are Florida Atlantic, so they're not going to be great. They're not going to attract a lot of attention, but this team is looking very good, especially the eye test. They haven't had they've had their first place in the American right now, 14-6 overall. They're on a winning streak. USF's got a darn good team in the American as well. But right now, yes, FAU did fail to cover in their last game against Tulane, but before that, it was pretty much all covers. They're 13-5 ATS this season so far. 5-3 ATS on the road. USF's 8-10 against the spread overall. Florida Atlantic's covered 9 of their last 11. They've won 5 straight. They've also covered 5 of the last 6 meetings against South Florida. South Florida, I will say this, South Florida has won 10 of the last 11 meetings against these 2 teams against Florida Atlantic. But Florida Atlantic has won the last 2, including both last year. So Florida Atlantic covered both games as well. They won here 69-63 as a 2.5-point favorite, and FAU won 84-72 at home. They've actually covered the last 2, but here at South Florida's won 10 of the last 11 meetings between the teams. South Florida's won 4 of their last 5, but they're just 1-4 ATS at home and 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall here. So, man, you got Florida Atlantic's getting the points here. I'm going to take them. I got to take them here. Give me Florida Atlantic. My current favorite team right now, it feels like right here. Like I said, this team is so young. They're I wish I had the stat. They're one of the youngest teams in the country for sure right now, and they are looking good with Vanderpool, with Carlisle in there. Those are their two studs. So, all right, comments from the chat, maybe here. That's Nugget Nunya. He's already on it with Vanderpool in there. It'd be definitely great rebounder and, a great rebounding guard, right? I mean, he really can get in there, and he's great at steals. I mean, he's one that feels like one of the best in the country. I don't think the numbers show that, but also this team makes their free throws. Carlisle doesn't miss, I don't think. So, Public Enemy, though, on South Florida. And Bobby Mack says, we won against Newcastle on the road. Also here, Robert on the over in this one. And let's go to the next one. Oregon Ducks on the road, taking on Washington here. Yeah, a little bit of a big spread here with the Huskies here. Man, just don't see this, right? The Ducks near the double-digit underdog on the road to anybody, but it's been a rough season here so far for the Ducks. Definitely not your typical Ducks here this season, but hey, they are at home on the road here, getting 9.5. This is a Peacock early start at noon. Let's see, what is the time here? 3 Eastern and noon Pacific. In this one, the widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game. It was 146.5 right now, showing 145 here. Now 144, 143.5. This one's only going lower. It feels like I was on a show last night talking about the under when it was 146, and now it's 143.5. Still about a 9.5 point spread. The Ducks are on a losing streak. Washington isn't much better here. We just don't have any games to talk about. For the Ducks here in this one, they come in here having lost 5 straight. And covered just one of their last 5. Oregon's also just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against the Huskies overall. Washington has lost 5 of their last 6 games, but covered 4 out of their last 5. Actually been playing a little bit of a tougher schedule. Consecutive losses to Michigan State, Nebraska, but they covered against the Wolverines. They covered against Nebraska on the road. They also beat Ohio State at home. So they have shown some signs of life, while Oregon has not. Oregon's just 1-5, 2-6 ATS as a dog. Washington 7-4 ATS at home here. Still a pretty big number where you got to think maybe we're getting a little bit too greedy here a little bit right now. But poor Altman here is just not used to this right now. This is his second 5-game losing streak of the season. Their only wins here of late, they beat Maryland, they beat Omaha, they beat Portland, they beat Davis in there, but so it just does seem like a little bit tough here. 9 points, it seems tough to me, but let's see if you guys like this one in the chat. We only got a few 5 games in college ball. You got to make a bet. I'm going to take Washington to blow them out, actually. Give me the Huskies here today. I'll take Washington to win by double digits. And it's going to be Blake on it as well. And Twisted, you're right. And I have started mixing in a few parlays there a little bit. Remember when we used to do that? We would have we were awarding a prize there for a while for a parlay. I like that idea. Hi to Kelly in the chat. Yeah, that's right. And Bobby was sick. I hope he's doing better. I forgot about it. He's feeling better now after that victory this morning. All right, and one more. Okay, USC and Wisconsin. Another Big Ten game, but this one's a lot better. This is the game of the day in college basketball for sure, with USC and Wisconsin here. Still a tough game for USC to go in here against a hot Badgers who are on a winning streak. Here, look, USC's done a nice job this year, no doubt about it. They're 14-5, but just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games on the road. USC's gone under in 5 of their last 6. They've also gone under in 4 of their last 5 in the conference right now. Wisconsin 4-1 ATS in their last 5. They've won 5 straight. They've won 10 of their last 11 games at home. Still a pretty big spread, but I'm not sure. USC is coming off of losses to Purdue and Northwestern at home. Now, they did cover against Purdue. They actually covered 3 of their last 4 coming in. But for Wisconsin here, they've been covering these spreads. They beat Penn State by 27. They covered easy. They failed against Rutgers at home, laying 15. They could only win by 9. But they won and covered at Minnesota. They of course, remember famously won the upset game at Michigan, 91-88 to stun the Wolverines, and also won and covered at home against the Bruins here recently. So, look, I think Wisconsin might be able to take advantage here today. Look, I don't mind USC long term, but USC did lose at home to Wisconsin last year by 15 points, and they were favored in that game last year. USC was by 1.5 points. So the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. And what does it say there right now? 161. That's about where it is. 160.5. 161 here right now. And I'm going to go under in this one. I think USC might just have some trouble actually with their scoring in this game. Maybe their team total does go under here. So I am actually going to take the under in this one. I'm going to fade that steam today in this one between USC and Wisconsin. All right, maybe we have a few comments here from the chat. Robert's on the Badgers here. I like that. I've been working on something here to get there's a couple of things I was looking at, trying to have like a league of our plays and something, but that would just make you even them up. I've been talking about trying to run them through AI and putting all the plays so at least we could read them. And someone who missed the show could go into like a WordPress file on their computer and see who everybody picked. It actually comes out looking pretty good, but that's where I'm stuck right now, trying to find the best way to do it. I'm trying to put up a website here for Sports Money, but we're having a little bit of creative disagreements, I think, here right now. So not quite able to do it here. R. Thompson on USC under. Public Enemy USC in Wisconsin game to go under. And you know what LALB is saying? He wants USC here. And anybody who's ever been to a USC game and had to park on some random house's lawn and you're not sure if your car is going to be there when you get out, but you gave the person $50 to park on their lawn, it better be there. There's Twisted with his games here today. Thank you. All right. There's also like an app that I saw too that would do like a league format where you could give a password to everyone and they'd all pick games in there, but no one wants to enter in fake plays when we're entering in all of our bets during the day. That's just like duplicating the work. But there's an app called Sports Picker, I think, where you could like create your own league. But like I said, no one wants to put in fake bets, it feels like here. So I'm working on it. Okay. And Raiders back at the Coliseum there a little bit. Okay, that's it for the college. That's it for the colleges. There's 2 other games today also. There's Southern Illinois and Evansville today. And what was the other one? Chicago State and Mercyhurst. We're not going to look at that game. Chicago State's 2-18. Okay, let's go to the hockey tonight. We'll just get this out of the way with 6 games here. Started off with early action here with the struggling Colorado Avalanche against Toronto here. Really good game, actually, to get us going here at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific time. I might miss the first period or so of this one sleeping. All right. For the abs here, they come in a pretty big favorite in this one, $1.85. And the total here looks like 6.5 over 20 right now. In fact, I'm going to update this line. It's clearly down to $1.65 or so. Hey, if you like discounts on really good teams, this might be your day, although the Leafs aren't anything to sneeze at here right now. They've been playing terrific as well. Toronto comes in here. They are on a losing streak right now, but we know they've kind of had a good season, 24, 18, and 9. Okay season, I guess, but Colorado's been so awesome here, and I don't know, giving me a discount on them might be a little bit tough to pass up here, especially with Colorado coming in off of 2 straight losses here. They've actually lost 4 of their last 5 games. They got blasted by Philadelphia in that game 7-3 last time out. That's got to steam them a little bit no matter who you are here. So I know Toronto's getting plenty of attention from the Sharps here, but you got to give Colorado a little bit of a chance. But I don't know, amongst the cold, the travel, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to take Toronto. Let me go to the chat here. Let me read some stats here. I don't know if I'm really committed to this game yet, so I might be just picking this one on the fly. With the plus money, there's maybe no value left on Toronto, the 20-cent move, but Colorado has won 6 of their last 8 on the road at Toronto. Toronto's actually lost 5 of their last 6. They have won, however, 7 of their last 10 at home. Colorado's dropped 4 of their last 5 overall. Colorado's still 10-5, their last 15 on the road. Colorado's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. Toronto's gone over in 6 of their last 7, and 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. I'm going to take the Maple Leafs here, plus money at home. Give me Toronto here in this one. Yeah, this one, it was 6.5 total here. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game, it feels like. So let me take Toronto here in this one. Colorado, no problem long-term here. They'll be fine, but they're having a few issues here right now. Public enemies on the abs here. Robert says go over. Our Tom's on the over. Blake on this is it, man. This one's got to be going over. Look at all this over. 9 Legacy says Colorado on the puck line. LALV says if we had the consensus, this would be it. Thank you, Nunya. He's got Evansville today in that game against SIU. Appreciate that. I will say the steam did come in on the under in that game between Southern Illinois and Evansville. I know we're not having a lot of steam reports in here today. So next up, the Devils are taking on the Kraken here in Seattle. Oh, here's a good idea. Let's just play a game. Well, I guess it works out. I mean, this game will lead right into the NFC Championship game. It'll end right at the right time. So great day for some sports in Seattle. New Jersey coming in here 27, 22-2. Seattle's 22, 19-9. But New Jersey's won 3 in a row here right now, including wins over Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. They're tearing it up here on the Northwest swing. Why wouldn't they keep it up? Seattle, meanwhile, in off of a loss over Anaheim. They're struggling here. They did beat the Islanders before that, but before that, they were in a bit of a losing string for sure. Seattle's lost 5 of their last 6. Overall, they're also not very good against Eastern Conference competition, going just 5-13 in their last 18 against the East. New Jersey's won 5 of their last 6. They've won the last 6 meetings over the Kraken. New Jersey also 4-1 straight up in their last 5 on the road. Maybe they're due for a loss, but I'm going to try the Devils here today on the road at Seattle. Playing good here right now in Seattle. A little bit of a slumpy slump. Markstrom and Decor. Let me fire up the old goalie computer here. The heavy pressure on the under. This one should be a low-scoring game, but let's see what you have here in this one. And here we go with Roberts on the under here. That might be it. That's okay. We need to finish up this show. You guys been here with me for 2 hours right now, cracking on the puck line here for LALV. It's going to be minus $2 or more, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm always one use your arsenal, and I think that a comment about I don't mind parlays here. I've been explaining different concepts of parlays. One thing that professionals, this is what they tell me anyway, that professional bettors do is they throw in, because when you're talking about the accounts, flagging accounts, sharp bettors, getting limited, if you play more parlays, you're less apt to get limited. And so what you do is you put your best plays in, and then you put them in. Say you like the Broncos today or whatever, plus the 3.5. You put it in there with a team that's minus 2,500 on the money line. Sure, there's going to be times when that one will fail, but that's what a lot of pros do. They put in large money line bets tacked on to sharp their good plays. It also gives you a little boost on it, but you're going to lose one here and there. That's all the books want from you. All right, here. LALB going to put the old parlay in there. All right, let's keep going here right now with next up, Golden Knights on the road. These Golden Knights are hot. They're taking on Ottawa here. They actually have lost 2 of their last 3, but right now the Knights have come in here winning 8 of their last 10. They've also beaten Ottawa in 11 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Vegas is 13-6 on the road here right now for Ottawa. They've lost 4 of their last 5 and 10 of their last 15 at home. Vegas up to $1.45 or so here right now, and no, it's cheaper than that. It's gone down here since I typed these numbers in. Right now, we're showing it $1.35 or less here, and the total 6.5 under 15, maybe under 20 or so here in this one. For Vegas here right now, they have gone over in 4 of their last 5. Ottawa's gone over in 4 of their last 6 games coming into this one. And I'm expecting, I think, Hill and Linus Ullmark. Here we've heard, let me make sure we heard Mike talking about the situation here all week. Now, I will say this. I'm not sure just yet. Let me refresh it here. I have Ullmark listed, but there is a possibility that it could be Hunter Shepard in here for the Senators. Shepard has been up here for a little taste recently, and I believe he is on this roster currently. Shepard may end up being the goalie here despite 1 start this season. They may be in there with a backup today, but you know what? With that spread, with that line moving like it is, maybe it is going to be Ullmark eventually here. I think I might better go to the total in this matchup. Give me the over in this one with Vegas and Ottawa today. I got to take the over here. All right, here is LALB on BGK. Robert Dixon here today. It must be 20 after the hour. There's Robert. Okay, and Nunya says, yeah, you know what? You put them a little bit different, though, I think, Nunya, from what I'm saying about that. But we say, we say as casuals, if you will, or even someone who, as a what am I, a betting influencer, whatever I am, don't take big money. Pros play big money lines. You may have Joe Schmo like me telling you, oh, don't play any 2,000 favorites. The pro bettors do that. They are the ones that we make fun of. The bridge jumpers, if you will, betting 10 dimes on some big money line. That they do it. Pro bettors are more apt to do it than amateur bettors by far. But again, it's more so that, amateur bettors aren't betting $10 on a minus 2,000 or so. Maybe there are some out there that maybe they're grinding it out for something, but I promise you, I'm not wrong on this. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Robert going over as well. Lots of overs here in this game. Knights on the money line for 9 legacy, and Public Enemy wants to go over as well. So lots of overs here. I'm on the over as well. Let's keep it moving. We're almost done with the show, and I need a nap. That was a long night last night with the guys. I think I just wasn't in my game shape there after the layoff, so we'll be better next Saturday. Okay. Penguins here on the road against the Canucks. Lankinen, I think, will be in there for the Canucks. There was some talk that he might not be in goal here, but I think it will be. You got Penguins here, $1.50 on the road. 6 over, might be a little bit less. No, I think $1.50 is probably the right price here right now in this one with the Penguins here on the road taking on the Canucks here. The Canucks are, the worst team probably in the league right now. I think they've surpassed everybody. They did win a couple of games back, then bounced back here with a loss to New Jersey. Last time out, they beat Washington before that. Vancouver here just 5-15 at home, 13-27 as a dog. Pittsburgh 14-7 on the road. Pretty good for a team that, look at Pittsburgh's record right now and how well they're playing too. They're overlooked at 29, 25, 14, and 11, probably because of those 11 OT losses. But for Pittsburgh here, they've won 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 7 on the road. Vancouver's lost 12 of their last 13 and 9 of their last 10 at home. 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, although Pittsburgh has gone over in 4 of their last 5, and Vancouver and Pittsburgh have gone over in 5 of their last 6 meetings overall coming into this one. So let's see here what you think in the game between Pittsburgh and Vancouver here. I think I'm just going to take Pittsburgh in this. Just give me Pittsburgh here against Vancouver. Vancouver's been so woeful right now. I'm probably leaning under, but I'm not quite sure yet. I might not even have I might have a premium, let's just say here. So just give me Pittsburgh in this one. I'll lay the $1.50 on the road. Here we go. Yeah, I think you're right, Reg. I think that's right, Reg. And Papa Ricky, hello. It's so great to have Papa Ricky in the chat. Oh man, great to have. Good to see you, Papa Ricky. He's got his plays here: Senators, Ducks, Patriots, and Rams. Thank you to Papa Ricky. Great to see you again. All right, LALV. He's talking about those parlays as well. I think the thing is we don't want to take those money lines that are kind of runaway money lines, right? We want money lines that maybe have gone down a little bit. Don't want to lay anything more than we have to. All right, getting ready for that big game here. Just 3 minutes to go. The 3-minute warning for Arsenal and Man U. Mike's going to take the Penguins as well. Let's take the Penguins today. I would almost say that because of the bad reputation that some favorites get, the favorites we don't want to take, right, are the ones where there isn't any injury information or anything, but the game's been bet up from like a $1.60 to $2.25 because it's the Dodgers, right? Like I always say when we're doing the baseball season, I want the Dodgers on a discount if I can get them. Okay. So here we go right now with the Panthers taking on the Blackhawks here on the road. Panthers are now this one's got a discount, I think, right? The Panthers are down to $1.30 or so, maybe $1.35.
Final.
I think we can update that one. We'll call it $1.35, but that might be conservative. Here, total 6.5. Now, oops, I put the wrong game back up. There we go. I changed the wrong line there. Here we go. Panthers, so $1.35, total 6 under here in this one with the Blackhawks today. This is an okay spot for the Blackhawks, I think, actually. I might take a look at them here. They've won 2 of their last 3 coming in for Chicago, win over Winnipeg and Carolina. They did lose to Tampa Bay in the last game out, but it was a shootout. They lost that one. Florida, meanwhile, they're on the back-to-back, and they won at Minnesota last night 4-3 in overtime. Traveling in here to Chicago here. It is a night game tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, but they are on the back-to-back. Maybe the Blackhawks can get one here against Minnesota tonight. Minnesota's not doing quite what they were doing here for during their why does this keep happening here right now? Okay. I don't know why I'm talking Minnesota, but the Panthers are the team that was playing at Minnesota last night. Got the win, traveling now here into Chicago tonight. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make here. So, look, Florida off back-to-back wins over Winnipeg and Minnesota. I think it will be a little bit tough here in this game. Florida's been a big time over here, 14-9 to the over on the road. Chicago 21-30 to the under. A bit of a contrast, actually. Florida's won 8 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams, and the Panthers have won 5 of their last 6 on the road. Chicago's lost 5 of their last 6 at home and 4 of their last 6 overall, but they've defeated Florida in 12 of the last 17 meetings here over the Panthers. This has been a little bit of a tough spot for the Panthers on the road. Now, the Panthers always win at home against the Blackhawks. In fact, they've won 8 of the last 11 meetings overall, but really it's more of a home situation there, home-dominated series. Florida's won 5 of their last 7 coming into this one. So, all right, let's get some picks. We're almost done with the show, and I need a nap. I need a nap before the football games, okay? Breakfast and a nap for Ramon. When does Ramon sleep? Everybody says, well, I'm going to sleep here for about 2 hours right now. Here we go with Panthers over for Blake. Public Enemy says Panthers and Hawks under. Let's see, LALB first period under, and Irish King says Chicago money line, take Bedard for a goal. Here's Irish King, Pittsburgh money line, Crosby anytime goal, and Malkin for an assist tonight. All right. Well, look, might be hard to pull the trigger here on Chicago. I kind of want to do it, but maybe the total might be the best way to go here. Give me the under tonight in this one with Florida and Chicago. One more here. It's Ducks on the road. Oh, so Mike went with the under there. All right, Ducks on the road, taking on the Flames here. Last game of the night in the NHL, and kind of catch the end of this one after the football. Probably pass out after that too. Anaheim's hot right now. Another winning streak for Anaheim. When are we just going to say that, it's for real? The Ducks are at least very, very credible here. Going to have a great run this season. Maybe can even do something in the playoffs. Remember the Ducks' great playoff teams from way back when with Timo Solani? Anaheim comes in here in third place right now. They've got that 6W going. Coming into this one, Calgary's lost 3 straight right now with losses to New Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Washington. Anaheim rocked Seattle last time on the road 4-2. They beat Colorado on the road, beat the Rangers at home, swept the Kings. The Ducks are hot, man. And 6-game winning streak right now. They are just 6-12 their last 18 on the road, and they have lost 4 of the last 5 meetings against Calgary. But Calgary usually strong at home. They've lost 5 of their last 6 at home and 8 of their last 11 overall. They have beaten Anaheim in 7 of the last 10 games at home, but Anaheim's pretty hot here. I got to like their chances. Let's see what you guys have here. I might just go to the total because you guys might be all over it. I'm going over in this one between Anaheim and Calgary tonight. I think Anaheim goes over their team total here. Probably gets at least 4 and wins this one. Let's see what you guys have in the chat, and then the show will be over. And let's take a look here. Twisted says once the parlay legs are in, you have Chat GPT do it. Yeah, it's awesome. If you ever talk to people, if you use like a Chat GPT or Gemini or any of these other AI models, and you talk to someone and you say, hey, have you ever done, checked out, I don't know, I think everybody does it, but because it's right in the browser now, so everybody knows what it is, right? But there's still like the cynics out there a little bit. And sure, the chat, sometimes they get it wrong, sometimes it looks up the wrong information, but to see these professors go off in the college, on the college kids, like I have a, and I'm not belittling those great instructors, right? But I'm pretty sure that an AI model is going to know than one single professor. Hey, if you put a room of 20 professors, maybe they will know as much as ChatGPT in the end. The brain is an incredible thing. But teaching should be changing. They should not be banning computers from the classroom and stuff like that. What are you, crazy? Even taking the computer. Okay, try to manage their social media or whatever, but you're only holding back intellect, I think. And I'm an old man here. Okay, let's see here. Irish King, Vegas money line, team total over. Eichel anytime goal, Stoney anytime goal. Ducks money line here for Blake. Quacking it up with LALV. Art Tomps, thank you. Thanks for putting up with me here today, you guys. Can't wait for this one. Andrew, I don't know what before the draw, I took Iva Jovic at 22-1 to win this tournament. Sabalenka is such a big favorite, I can't really hedge. I guess I got to try to look for some in play. Obviously, if we get through this, Iva Jovic is going to be, she's already a big star to tennis fans, only 18 years old. She's absolutely great. She is a perfect interview. Does she sit in a room and practice her interviews or something? She's terrific. She's lovely. I think she's just incredible, actually, and I can't wait. There are so many great young players, but when you heard what Mike was talking about with Naomi Osaka, I love to yell at Mike. I wasn't yelling. I was like, you're right, Mike. The Osaka to withdraw like that. Okay, maybe she did plant the seed with the injury, but we know that she's wilted whenever there's been public criticism of her. Not ever don't want to call out the don't want to ever call out the mental health, because she's used that before as well. Hey, I got mental health problems, okay, but just for me, it seems like she's the type to wilt, right, and not great in her interviews. Iva Jovic, she is awesome, man. Yeah, good thing she's 18, because I might be in love. All right, Public Enemy, Ducks and Flames over. Art Thompson is going to be raining. Nappy time. Robert here on the Ducks. Good luck to everyone. She's tough too. Want to see her a little bit under pressure there, right? Robert, thank you for everything. Twisted, thank you. All right, you guys. That's going to do it for the show. We're going to do a drawing here right now with the winners here. And hey, you can get some more picks from me over at winnable.com/Ramon. Here, let's do the drawing, and let me have Mikey tell you all about what we do at Winnable.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, let's bring it up right now and take a look at the drawing here. Oops, is it up there? Oh. All right, here we go. I got to clean up my computer. It just starts to drag at the end of the show. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the drawing, see who's going to win. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on the morning steam. Here's Big O, 9 Legacy, Nate the Great, Blue, Power Critter, Cash Kane, Parma Jake, James Parr, Jim Dewagger, Public Enemy, Philly Eagle Flyer wins. Thank you, Philly Eagle Flyer, for your. And you can get the free picks from me if you'd like. If not, thank you for everything as always here. And really appreciate everyone joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. We'll be back tomorrow with more Morning Steam, but don't forget to join us today at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. That's the start of the game. We'll actually be there about 15 minutes before. I'll have some props to go over, too, with the game today in the late game. Hopefully I gave you some good tips and props as well with my analysis of the football games. Enjoy the first game there, and then join us later tonight for another game. We'll know and watch for me. Look, I've always had a big thing for announcing the spread as soon as it comes out. I wait every year. I can remember back in the day, I used to, this is so old, man. You know, before smartphones and all this, I used to carry a little pager, and they sent beeps every 2 minutes with the latest scores. As soon as the games were over, the Super Bowl spread would come out, and I'd get on the microphone because I hosted Super Bowl parties for years as a sports bar manager for 15 years. And I'd get on the mic and I'd say, the Patriots are a 7-point favorite over the Rams, or whatever it was, you know, and I'll be doing it tonight, trying to make sure we get that first look at the spread for the Super Bowl in San Francisco. So we'll be doing that. Joining me here on the show tonight with the guys here, Mikey and I, and we'll have some guests as well. So should be a great game and a great day. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe out there. Don't go out to those protests. Too cold, okay? No reason to be protesting out there. Okay, let's just watch the football games. All right, it's going to do it. Thanks, everybody, again in the chat. You guys were just fire today as well. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Oh, Twisted, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to NFL here today on the show picks here were the Patriots minus the points and the over in the Rams and the Seahawks. I think my other plays are actually going to be the winnable picks. I need some winners, and we got to get it right. I will say this. Please subscribe, but I've definitely had my worst week on winnable since we've been doing it here, I think. But that's all right. It happens. And maybe just not enough football games here. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, everybody. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the